Their mother-daughter audition led to divisive reviews from both judges and X Factor viewers alike. And Descendance, comprising of daughter Hayley and her mum Debye, again caused stirs as Saturday night's show saw the young hopeful finally agree to go solo without her mum, after much encouragement from Simon Cowell. Speaking to the pair in the first bootcamp round, he said, "I'm sorry to do this, I don't want to cause a riff, but it's just I don't think it's fair on your daughter. So where are we?" After which Debye finally agreed to go forward.Earlier in the month, viewers called for Debye Norton, one half of pop group Descendance, to step down and allow Hayley to continue as a solo artist after the panel lavished praise on her. The group remained reluctant, yet Simon's final decision on Saturday saw the duo have an intense conversation backstage as a reluctant Debye conceded with the head honcho and agreed for her daughter to go ahead. During the bootcamp section, the duo struggled to stand out among Russell Jones' Ginny Lemon and Dr. Woof as they belted out a questionable performance of Dead or Alive's hit track You Spin Me Round. A stunned Simon stated, "That was hideous.Honestly, one of the most awful things I've ever heard," while Sharon went on, "These guys were whiny and awful." Despite this, Simon seemed to see something in Hayley, which led to him asking the duo to part ways in the dramatic scenes, which eventually ended after the youngster said, "Please, please mom. I want this, so bad.Please." The bittersweet moment then arrived, as her mum replied, "She's my baby star, that's what I called her when she was born." "She's gonna go forward.I would have always done it, it's just a hard one to swallow." Introducing themselves, the pair said they'd only started singing 3 years ago and had just clicked as a duo, with Hayley gushing, "Everyone thinks we are sisters or best friends. We always come to each other for everything. Without her, I probably wouldn't be who or where I am today." In their first audition, the duo performed Macklemore's track Can't Hold Us, but unfortunately for Debye, all the praise and attention was centered on Hayley. An impressed Sharon Osbourne branded Hayley phenomenal, but was less effusive about her mum, suggesting she should be in the DJ booth and provide occasional vocals. Louis Walsh agreed, saying his attention was purely focused on Hayley, calling her an amazing performer, while Nicole described Hayley as super dope and relevant right now and suggested Debye remain involved in some way, even if it wasn't front of house singing with Hayley. "You need to be there, but in a different aspect, as what you are doing now is odd," a blunt Sharon told Debye. Debye argued that she and Hayley didn't find it odd, but head judge Simon Cowell said, "I'm going to be honest with you, this is not great. What you have done for your daughter is incredible, because you have an amazing relationship. It's quite rare to see someone like you, Hayley. I think the fact you're happy to do this with your mum makes me like you even more." "What are we doing here, guys? Without being rude, it doesn't work." Hayley insisted she wouldn't perform without her mum Debye, who was in tears and sobbing over the judges' comments. Although the pair got 4 yeses, Simon had a word of warning from Debye as they left the studio. "We aren't kidding what we said here. I just want you to think about it." Many viewers were quick to agree with Simon and the judges, taking to social media in their droves to describe Debye as selfish if she didn't step aside to let her daughter shine. One wrote, "I think the mum is pretty selfish. I would rather my child went on and could possibly win above me being involved." Another said, "The mum is trying to live off her daughter's fame. Show mum. She's selfish if she doesn't let her daughter do it on her own." A third added, "Well, that was a tad selfish and very awkward to watch. I hope her mum doesn't hold Hayley back." And a fourth chipped in, "The mum is being very selfish. She's not good enough. She's holding her daughter back." Meanwhile, a fifth viewer said, "Seriously, mum.Let her go solo.So. She could go far on her own, and she definitely won't go far in a pair." And a sixth wrote, "That mum needs to think hard on this decision and let her daughter go though. Her daughter is the star." Others, meanwhile, had a solution. "Why not put Hayley and Debye through as 2 solo artists and go from there?" One said, "I would send the mum and daughter through as separate acts." "The mum is good, the daughter is better." A second added, "I thought the mum and daughter act was amazing. Such a good relationship." "I think it does work." Others defended Debye, with one tweeting, "I thought that was pretty out of order, how all the judges just said they were only interested in the daughter. Her mum was good." And another suggested, "The mum should just let her go through herself if she has more of a chance on her own. Then she can join in if she makes it." That may well be what happens, as according to The Sun, the judges do split Hayley and Debye up at boot camp, leaving Hayley to continue alone as a solo artist and Debye going home. A source claimed, "It's an agonizing decision for the family, and there are lots of tears." Ultimately, Debye is Hayley's biggest supporter and wants the best for her daughter. It was yet another action-packed episode of X Factor auditions, with the usual mixture of good, bad and slightly unusual contestants stepping forward in a bid to impress the judges. Among the highlights for the panel was Gary Barker, who got the biggest yes of the day from Louis Walsh after he ditched his cheeky chappy persona and original song choice of Uptown Funk and instead impressed with a Sam Cooke song. Elsewhere, office worker Talia DeLordo belted out Aretha Franklin's Ain't No Way and had the judges under her spell, while group The Cleef put on a head-turning performance of Little Mix's Touch, complete with high-heel boots. Queen Aka Ashley Warwick was compared to Posh Spice with her blunt brunette bob and boldly told the panel she's often told her looks like a pop star. She performed a mashup of Celine Dion, Salt and Pepa and R. Kelly. Megan Byrne performed a unique take on I Put a Spell on You, while self-confessed born performer and Junior Cruise director Jamesy put on a very energetic performance of Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling. Meanwhile, no doubt some contestants breathed a sigh of relief when Simon failed to show for several auditions in Sunday night's episode, leaving Judge Louis in charge. The music mogul, 57, was stuck in a traffic jam as the ITV show headed to Liverpool, leaving many aspiring pop stars hoping they'd have an easy ride through to the next round. The show began with host Dermot O'Leary's comic voiceover accompanied by shots of the gridlock, beeping horns, and an irritated Simon sitting helplessly in a taxi in the middle of it all. Dermot said, "Even the boss himself is running late." Many fans were delighted to see Louis step up to take the chair in the center of the judges' table, to a tongue-in-cheek backing track of "I've Got the Power." Sharon said, "Simon, who? You've been here the longest, you run the show. But when Louis proposed a yes from 2 judges should secure contestants a place in the next round, Sharon quipped, "We don't need any F yeses, just put everybody through." Louis, Sharon, and Nicole Scherzinger all seemed to agree they were better off without Mr. Nasty in the driving seat. Kiltima born Louis, 65, said, "We don't need Simon. I'm in charge today, and we're going to find a winner. From Ireland." But Louis's dream of finding a contender from his home country soon dwindled as he pulled faces at the first 3 quirky-sounding singers, all from Ireland, who received a resounding no from each cringing judge. When Simon eventually arrived, he was quick to remark on the poor quality of the auditions he'd missed, adding, "Let's raise the